Hey, 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 hey. All right. Welcome to Love Tips and Velvet Lips. I am so happy that you are here today. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't know what was going on, but it is all settled now and we are all good to go. So I'm super excited to bring you all here with me and discuss any kind of questions that you may have. So please feel free to go into the comment section, leave your question there, or of course, you can submit your questions at qrco.de/lovetipsama, and I will happily answer all of your questions anonymously. Now, for folks who are just now joining us, it's been a while. It's been a minute, y'all. I was traveling and doing a lot of things. I was in Portland for Kink Fest. I was in Sacramento with my parents for a week and just catching up on work. And if you haven't seen me in a while, I even got a little bit of hair going. But I'm super excited to be back with you all. And I do have a plethora of questions that I've gotten from folks over the time being. So just happy that you are here to get those answered. So again, I'm here to answer any kind of questions. I know it's a Friday evening. So, before you go out on date night, I'm happy that you're here listening to me. Or if you... Thank you so much for submitting your question, and then feel free to come back to this video at any time to see the answer. So I appreciate you all here. So with that said, I am going to first start off with one question. And the question is about my erotic activities bucket list. Now, for those of you who are new to Velvet Lips, you haven't been here before, you're kind of like, oh, what's been happening? I have an erotic activity bucket list. And on this bucket list, there are a ton of words, a ton of things that you can try to do with your partner. And generally, some folks kind of have questions about what those things are exactly, right? They're kind of like, what does this word even mean, right? And so that is what I'm going to be. And a lot of people got the erotic activity list or even the kinky erotic activity list because you went to maybe the Dom Sub Summit. So if you went to the Dom Sub Summit, then you saw my presentation on how to seduce your sub. It was really great. I had a really great interaction with people. People loved it. They signed up. And it was just a really great time. So there are a lot of things on my erotic activities list. And there's a lot of kink focused things on the kinky erotic activity list, right? And I like to call it a bucket list because it's sort of like, I had a couple one time come up to me and they were like, so we've done everything on this list. What do you suggest now? And I was like, you've done everything on the list? They're like, yeah, we actually went through it and we've done everything on the list. And I was like, great. I was like, what are some things you haven't done in the past 5 years? Like, oh, yeah, go back to those things, right? Because we know our bodies change. We always want to do things differently. We want to change things up. So please go back and try it again. You know what I mean? Our bodies change 5 years, 10 years. So go and try those things again because you might, your body might be different. Different sensations might feel different. And maybe your lover might want something different than you did before. So it's not only about experimentation and exploration, but it's also about being more self-aware of your body, your lover's body, and how you can work together in your bodies. Okay, so with that said, the question that I got was, we were going through the erotic activities bucket list and had some questions. there are some terms listed that we were not sure of the meaning. Is there a glossary somewhere? This is by Dick and Ellie. So thank you so much, Dick and Ellie, for your question. And so there is not a glossary sort of anywhere. I mean, I'm sure you could do a quick Google search for some of these things, but honestly, there's some things on the erotic activities bucket list that have changed over time, and what used to be the meaning for them are not necessarily the meaning of for them anymore, right? So for instance, there's some people, I forgot about my camera moving. I'm looking at the list. Maybe I'll look at the list this way so I'm not, still facing the camera and all. So one of the things on the list, right, that people ask about is frottage. And what is frottage? And frottage is basically you rubbing your genitals up against someone's butt, right, for sexual pleasure. Now, you tend to find people who like to frottage like with no consent. Typically like on subway trains, like crowded subway trains, things like that, right? Because that's where that's kind of got popularized. But as we move into consensuality, we know that so frottage is basically rubbing your genitals up against someone's butt. And another name for that, you could call it, is one aspect of outer course. So frottage is considered a type of outer course where someone is genitally motivated, and the other person is using their body but not genitally motivated for whatever reason. Right. So frottage is one of those words on the list that people tend to be like, what is that word? So that is that word. Another thing on the list that people tend to be like, wait, what? Is like blood play, right? And this could be all sorts of kinds of blood play. It might be related to menstruation. It might be related to maybe cutting in the BDSM context. So thinking about the kind of, what exactly you want to do, that is what that means. So any kind of activity that is going to involve some kind of blood, right? There's also one of the things that people often question about that is on here is actually, I took it off of here because people were like, wait, what? But one of them used to be cooking. And I believe cooking is an erotic activity. We all love to cook. We know there's a nerve that connects from our mouth to our genitals. And the pleasure that we get from eating is very similar to the pleasure that we get from, other kinds of stimulation. So, thinking about this is, you have to think about it in a way that feels good to you. But it could be a kind of erotic activity, especially if you do it nude. You know what I mean? There's some people often with some of the other words like knife play, and that's, using knives. But there are lots of different things on this list. But most of them are pretty self-explanatory, like outdoor, spanking. Oh, packing. Packing is another word that people tend to kind of be like, oh, what is packing? So packing is where you are wearing a strap-on underneath your clothes. So whether you're wearing pants or a skirt or a kilt, whatever, you're wearing a strap-on harness and dildo underneath. So that is called packing. Now it could be a fully erect, dildo. It could be a flaccid dildo. So packing is what that means. And typically in the past, we've seen like more lesbians who have done packing. But we also would consider, trans folks to be packing too. So packing is, packing. You're putting your package underneath, and that's what you're doing. So I hope that explains that one. Let me see what other ones on here. And I have a lot of things, right? And a lot of these are, of course, maybe BDSM terms. But like I said, some of them aren't necessarily BDSM, like packing, or fraudage, right? Tribadism. So tribadism is another word that people tend to get kind of stuck on. And tribadism is basically where you use your thigh and you rub your thigh up against your lover's genitals, right? So you are rubbing your thigh, you're moving your thigh up and down against your lover's genitals, you're making it happen, right? That is tribadism. Basically, kind of 1, 2, 3. If you were to kind of like dissect your legs there. I mean, kind of depending on how many legs you got. I mean, I guess, whatever. But anyway, you're rubbing your thigh up again. And it's another form of outer course as well. So tribadism. And I know a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with outer course. And, outer course is basically where, if you have two people who are in the, situation together, you have one person who is generally focused and another person whose genitals maybe not focused for whatever reason. Maybe they have a flare up. Maybe they're just not into it, whatever. Maybe they just like outer course better, right? It doesn't matter. Outer course is just a different kind of a way to explore and play, while one person being genitally focused. And I think that is those are the ones that typically get asked about when it comes to the I do have cooking on there. It's just on the bottom. Just thinking about what words on there are kind of like, wait, what? But everything else feels pretty self-explanatory. But of course, Dick and Ellie, if you're like, hey, you missed a word, or I didn't see the word that I was talking about there, please feel free to send me an email. Tell me which words kind of threw you for a loop, and I will be happy to answer those for you. So thank you so much for your question. That was amazing. All right, y'all. So if you don't know all the things that I've been doing, you can always get the latest and greatest on my calendar. I always copy everything to my calendar. So make sure you go there, check it out, see what's happening, and sign up for whatever it is you want to sign up for. Let's see. All right. I do have another question for you all. The question is, I want to read the whole entire, email for you because it was a really great email. Just kind of like, I need help, Marla, I need help. So the question is, Marla, I attended your seminar today with Dom Sub Living. It was so enlightening, and I appreciate your being there and educating. Woo, testimonial. I'd love to continue the brief exchange we had about imposter syndrome. One of the later talks, Kinky Skills for Switches, had a great quote that tied into what we were discussing, albeit in a different context. The gist of what she said was, if you're enjoying yourself, curious, and exploring, it will be fun play. Whereas if you are performing, you'll hit dead ends. Yes. I am a type A. Ooh, I know, me too. I love to be in control, but in the bedroom, it always feels like I'm performing. My blessedly patient husband and switch partner has been working with and encouraging in this area. What other advice or ideas do you have regarding this? And again, thank you so much for a lovely and educational talk today. You are amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for your wonderful and amazing question. And I love that, right? I am also a type A. I get it, right? So again, the question is, I'm a type A, love to be in control, but in the bedroom, it always feels like I'm performing. What other advice or ideas do you have regarding this? One of the things I like to think about when we are feeling like it's a performance, honestly, this happens to a lot of cis straight women, so cis het women who are trained, like socioculturally trained for the male gaze. So what tends to happen is like, you're looking to what other things or people are doing instead of like connecting with yourself genuinely. And or you may have been watching a whole lot of pornography. And when you are watching actors act, you think that that is like the way that you should be acting when you are authentically engaged. And not to say like some porn performers aren't like authentic, but we all know a lot of times porn performers, when they come off, when they come off the camera, they're like, I love to have vanilla sex. Or like, I love to be vanilla, like I love to just, missionary all the way. So we have to understand they are performers. They are acting. So you do not have to act. You can be authentic and genuine in who you are. One of the ways to let go of this is to really try to do some self-awareness exercises in your solo play. So if you are not engaging in solo play by yourself, I highly suggest that you take the time to ensure that you are doing that. When you do that and you just relax and you, number one, make sure you are disengaged with everything else. So that means, no TV, no other just things that could distract you. You're home alone. The kids are out of the house. You are, siloed, right? You are really taking the time for yourself to bring more self-awareness to you and your body. So with that said, you want to be able to kind of play. Trying to use all the words out that won't get me suppressed, y'all. You want to play, and in your play, you just really want to connect with your genuine self, with your genuine voice. A lot of times with performances, especially with cishet women, they'll tend to be like like this screaming loud pitch. But honestly, when you have like an amazing, big O and an amazing climax, what tends to happen is that those sounds, they're guttural. They are truly guttural. So they're coming from the like deep inside of you. So letting go of all your expectations of what you should and shouldn't be doing. Performance is not the way. You want to be able to connect with your body, to genuinely feel everything that is happening in your body in that moment. It's about being present. And so practicing with yourself is one of the best ways to be present in that. So again, practicing with yourself, feeling that guttural, big O, your climax. That is the way to authentically connect to your body. Now, not to say, people can't have high-pitched climaxes or anything like that, but we know that is performative. And we know that because that is what a lot of, porn performers do. And they're performers and actors for a reason. So, I think it's just really important to connect with your body in that way. And before you move into a performance, or you just stop the performance, right? If it doesn't feel good, maybe what are the things that need to happen in order for you to feel good? Are you giving some direction, some thought? What are the things that you are doing to actually connect with your lover? Now, I'm also a big fan of erotic breath work. So if you are doing erotic breath work, that is also a really great way to uh, connect, right? So breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, really being intentional and present in your body will help you understand what feels good to you and give your lover directions on what they need to do to help you and your body feel good. But you just want to be who you are. I think once you step into that and stop performing, and when you find yourself performing, all you have to do is be like, you know what? Stop performing. This is not a performance. I'm not going to win an Oscar. I'm not. The only thing that it's going to fail is going to fail me because I'm not being genuine and authentic in who I am. Right? So, yeah, you want to make sure that you are being truthful with who you are in your play. So yeah, that's a hard one, y'all. I mean, a lot of people tend to perform. And although performances can be great, especially if you're having, bad experiences, performance is great. You can have a performance and then leave the performance, if it's not like something you want to continue to do. Now, if it's with like a consistent lover and you're having multiple bad experiences, then it might be time to think about or reassess what's really going on and why aren't you able to actually communicate your needs, wants, desires, with your lover. With that said, I'm bringing back the new program, the DRIP program. So if you are a woman in a relationship, you're struggling with performance, you're struggling with libido, you're struggling with your confidence, you're struggling in your relationship some way, somehow, I'm starting a 7-week program called the DRIP program. DRIP stands for Divine Richness in You. You know what I mean? Punani. I wonder if Punani will get me shadow banned. We'll see. So that will be happening for 7 weeks, 7-week program. Super excited to bring it back because I know there's a lot of folks who are in relationships who are struggling, and it's springtime, y'all. It's spring. People are ready to, people are ready to be out and about, and, people's libidos are coming back. They're getting ready for the hot girl summer. So please make sure you check out the details about the DRIP program. It's going to be amazing. 7 weeks of absolute amazing self-awareness and exploration, and using a lot of the tactics that I have helped my clients use to help them with their confidence and get cracking. So make sure you check that out. You can go to velvetlipssexed.com/drip, and all the info will be there. All right, y'all. So that were all the questions that I had for today. But let me look one more time, see if anything came through. No, not yet. Okay. But y'all, I'm just here for you. I know, like I said, it's date night Friday. I'm trying to get the kid into daycare so I can start back up on Mondays. I feel like Mondays at 9 a.m. we're a really good spot where people engaged and had a lot of fun and being a part of getting the questions in and telling me about their fun, exciting weekends. So make sure you go ahead and keep getting those questions in. Please feel free to holler at me if you have anything else going on for you. And I hope you have an amazing and wonderful weekend. All right, y'all. So again, make sure you check me out. Oh, wait, I forgot to talk about like next week, y'all. So a couple things. One is SDS, our conference in September. We are in our 10-year anniversary, and so ticket prices are going to go up on May 1st. So please make sure you grab your ticket. They are going to go up $100. So you definitely, want to get a hold of that. Pearl Noir is going to be at our virtual deep dive on Tuesday, the 30th. So please make sure you go to sexdownsouth.com/events1, the number 1, and sign up for the virtual session there. It'll be amazing. And yeah, so next week, let me see what else I got next week going for y'all. As always, we have the happy hour, and then of course I'll be back here hopefully for Love Tips. I won't be here. I'll be in Atlanta next Friday. I will be hosting the one of the films at the Atlanta Film Festival. So that started yesterday. So if you haven't checked out the film festival, please make sure you check it out. If you want to come on Saturday, May 4th, I will be there at 4 p.m. for a film that I will be moderating the Q&A on. So please come and check me out. If you are in Atlanta and you're like, Marla, I just want to see you for a private session, hit me up. I'll be happy to schedule in a private session for you. So, oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. It's been amazing. Y'all are great. Please keep those questions coming in. I love to answer them. And I will talk to you all soon.